Good morning. It has been a long night, and I didn't sleep very well. I'm sure you're wondering why, and that is because I have nothing in here. I don't even have a bed. I slept on the floor. I know we wanted this cottage to feel a little bit old and a little bit run down, but this is not what I meant, so we definitely have some work to do. First things first, I am still in need of a little bit of iron, so let's grab some of that, and then we can get decorating inside. Interiors are always something that I've struggled with in Minecraft. I never quite know what to put inside a build. I want it to feel nice and cozy without feeling cramped and still have all of the blocks that we need in there. I'm thinking we need a smoker, we need a blast furnace, we need maybe a regular furnace. But before we're ready for any kind of furnace, we're gonna need a floor. And that is why I'm gathering iron. I need a new shovel. You know, I really quite like these blocks. I remember when they were first added, I didn't really like them, and it was because they didn't feel very Minecrafty. And now I realize that not feeling Minecrafty maybe just means new, because now they feel pretty Minecrafty. No. I do not like how far away mobs can see you from. Now, I recently learned, and I don't know if this is true, so please let me know, but apparently, if you wear a mob head, it decreases the range that mob can detect you from. So if I walk around wearing a zombie head, they don't recognize me anymore? Maybe. If that's true, we might need to experiment, though I'm not really sure how I would get a mob head. I don't really want to go playing with any charged creepers. Like, look, he's tracking me from all the way down there. It's ridiculous. I'm just trying to leave. Oh, we're almost here. Oh, that smoke really does look good, doesn't it? We're back just in time for sunset, which means it took me an entire day to find all this iron. Now let's get smelting. Oh, we don't even have a furnace. Aha, yes we do. I was wrong. Let's put that here and let's get smelting. And also, let's sleep for the very first time in our new house. This really does feel like the start of an exciting adventure. Let's have our first sleep. Good night. And good morning. So the first thing I am going to do is get a crafting table, which I can't believe we don't have. I'm going to make a shovel, and I'm going to dig out this entire floor. Now, I have a slight problem in that I don't know what I want to put on the floor. Are we thinking stone floor, wood floor, moss floor? We can maybe do moss and wood. Don't know how this is going to look. Let's give it a go. Okay, let's put some moss in here. And then let's also put some of this in here. I'm just going to mix up the rotation of these a little bit. Okay, I've gotten quite experimental here, but if I strip all of these, I need to move my bed. Hey, I quite like that. It's quite rickety. I added in some stairs in here to make it look like there's floorboards missing. I think this is quite nice. It's different, I will say that. I have never done a floor like this before. Maybe you don't think this looks good, but I'm quite happy with this. And we should have a campfire in here. How perfect could that be? It could be nice and cozy, and also there is a real chimney here. We also have a second floor to put in here. Let's get some slabs, and I think we will do this one just out of slabs. Do we have enough? Uh-oh. Maybe some trapdoors too. Let's see what we can make. Oh, that might be enough. So let's do it here. Okay, it has a floor, but now we have the problem of there's no way to get up here. And let's make our way up. Let's go from here. Perfect. There is some work to be done in here. And I think the most important thing for both stories is I need a torch, because I don't want anything blowing this up. Let's put in our campfires. One there, and one upstairs as well. Nice, and it is nighttime once again. Now this is in no way at all complete, however, I think it's time to take a little break, make some armor, Oh, I should keep my leather boots just in case. I don't want to fall into any snow. And we are going to head out in search of a friend. But before we can do that, there is one more thing we need to craft. And I don't think we... No, we need leather. Oh! In order to make the saddle that I need, we're going to have to go and get some leather. Let's go grab some, shall we? And then we will come back. Now, surely, there's got to be a cow somewhere. Ah, target spotted. Let's go. Wait, this is a little flower forest. How cute is this? I love it. Got it. Nice, we need 3 leather. Oh no, only 1. Oh no, we're gonna have to find more. And while we're doing this flower forest has actually reminded me of one of the suggestions for the rank things. Now, if you have any good ideas, please let me know what I should rank next. But last episode, Lucy recommended that we should rank flowers. So, that is exactly what I'm going to do. Ooh, and there is our 3 leather. So while I dive into finding the perfect horse, let's start ranking some flowers. Okay, so, in 5th place. And now I have started off with a tough one here, because I'm not sure how to pronounce this. But in 5th place is the Azure Bluet. Bluet? Bluet. Bluet. I don't know how to say it, but that is 5th place. Now, the reason it's in 5th place is because I think it's a really pretty flower. I think it's lovely for decorating with, but it's a bit small. It doesn't really stand out. You know, it is mostly just white. Ooh, this one's pretty good. Okay, let's put this one in a hole. But as I was saying, it's still great for decoration, and that's why it deserves a spot on this list. Oh no. Why have you done this? And now in 4th place, and now we're going into the flowers that I actually really quite like. We have the cornflower, and I'm sure if I look around, there's probably a cornflower here somewhere. Or not. Oh, there we go. There is a cornflower. I think they're really nice. They're really pretty. It's not one I use very often, but I think I should. I mean, look at it. Look at him with his friends. The dandelion and the rose. They just fit in perfectly. Oh, this guy can jump pretty well, but he's kind of slow, so I'm not going to take him. I'm going to make a second hole over here for the horses that I'm not interested in. And let's get back to ranking. So, in 3rd place, we have one of my absolute favorites. I really like this flower. It is the allium. I don't think there's any alliums in sight of here. Let's have a look. No. I really like the shape of them. I think they add a lovely little purple color to Minecraft. And I think purple is one of the colors that is really underrepresented in Minecraft. Like, think about it. Outside of the end, how much purple do we really have? One of the other things I really like about the allium is I like that it's just a different shape. You know? It's a circle. It's kind of weird for Minecraft, but I like it, and I think that's exactly why it works. I say, I'm surrounded by circular flowers here. I don't think this guy is as fast as the first one. And I don't think he's a very good jumper either. Let's put him in the second hole. Let's use our current favourite to go all the way home and sleep, because it is getting to nighttime. But that takes us on to 2nd place in the flower ranking. And these ones definitely are over here. My 2nd place flower is the lilac. I love these. I think they are so pretty. I could add them anywhere. I love that they're too tall. I love that you can bone meal them, so they're not that hard to get. And again, it's a little bit of that pink purple that we don't really see very often in Minecraft. I think one of the reasons I like purple so much is because I love to build sort of fantasy style builds. And purple is a very fantasy color. Oh, I am stuck. Oh, we're home. Okay, brilliant. Let's just take our horse inside. Look at him. Okay, this time we are going to take our bed with us, because that was kind of silly. You'll start to see as I build more and more, and as we move further and further into this world, I will use a lot of lilacs. I will put anywhere I can. I just love them. I think they're brilliant. So that takes us into 1st place. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. It is the Lily of the Valley. I don't see any from here, I don't think. Ooh, look at that. There we are, right in the distance. That is my favorite flower. I love the shape of these. I love the green, I love the white. I just think they're perfect for adding into a build. They look like tiny little snowdrops. I just think they're great. The only problem with them is that they're quite annoying to find, and I never have enough. So if anyone can tell me how to get lots of Lily of the Valley, please do. So that is it for today's ranking. That is my top 5 flowers. I will say that I love every flower in Minecraft. I mean, look at them, they're so pretty. I did forget flower forests in my ranking of the biomes, but I do really love them, and it's because of flowery, you know? Look at these. If I could pick the next update, I would probably pick flowers and foliage. So, let me know what you think. Let me know what your top 5 is. Last episode, we got this amazing ranking from Traveler. Kind of put me to shame, to be honest. I feel like I should be thinking about it as much as they are. And we also got all these really lovely comments, so I just want to say a big thank you once again. Oh my goodness. Wait, this horse jumped so high. Whoa! Does this do 4 blocks? I don't really understand how horse breeding works, but if we can find a really fast horse and then breed it with this horse that can jump really high, does that mean it'll be a fast horse that can also jump really high? Okay, this is 4 blocks. Let's have a look. Oh, not quite. I messed up the jump. Okay, so it can't quite do 4.5, but it can do 4 blocks, which I think is pretty impressive. Okay, let's put him in the hole. I am going to keep trying all these horses, and I will come back to you when I have found my pick. See you shortly. Okay, so about 20 horses later, and a few days in Minecraft later, I have decided this is the horse I'm going to take for now. Now, he isn't the best jumper, but he is pretty fast, and I think speed is more important for now. I do think we maybe want to breed this horse with the one that jumps really high, and we could have the best horse ever. But for now, this will do, so let's head back home. But I didn't do all of this just to get a horse and then head back home. I am heading back home because we are going to make a path. And hopefully, we are going to build a big path. One of my favorite things to do in Minecraft is build paths, which, as boring as it may seem, is one of the things that I have always loved about the game. We're going to put this guy inside so he doesn't run away. And unfortunately, I don't think I have a lead. Maybe if we head back over to our starter base, there might be enough string there to make one. But as I've been saying, one of the things I really want in this world is I really want the world to feel connected. I want there to be roads and paths everywhere we go, and hopefully that'll make the world feel a bit more immersive. And I'm using this path in the game as a bit of a path to loving Minecraft again. Do we have any string? We do. Aha! Let's make ourselves a lead. And also, this is our friend from last episode. Now, if you didn't see, I did actually hold a poll to try and pick this guy's name, and there were some excellent suggestions. So our name suggestions were Dagda, the Gallic god of abundance and time, Boluo, which is a tiny little white flower, which is said to bloom only once in every 3,000 years. Mad Max, it's a pretty obvious reference to how angry this little dude was when we first found him. And finally Snowball, which is just a bit of a reference to his lovely coat and also his home. And after 36 votes, I can tell you that we actually had a tie between Boluo and Mad Max, which unfortunately means it is down to me. So this little dude shall be called Boluo. I really like that name. I think it's really unique. I love the idea of him being named after a flower, and I also like the suggestion that this dude is a once in every 3,000 years sort of guy. The other suggestions were amazing though. Thank you so much for your lovely name suggestions. Maybe if we get some more dogs, we can use the other names we got to name them. So, hello, it's nice to meet you. I'm gonna nickname this dude Poe. You do look like a bit of a Poe. Alright, let's head back, because now we have our lead, which is what we came for. And we can leash this guy up at our house. I have made a grave mistake. No. No, I'm a pro, I swear. No. Alright, well, let's get back to what we were trying to do. There we go, welcome home, guys. Alright, so I'm gonna be completely honest here and tell you that I don't know what went wrong, but I didn't record any audio for the rest of the video. So here I am talking about I wanted to talk a little bit more about where I want this path to go and also the reasons why I want to build this path. You can see here we're heading over to the village that we found right at the very start. I don't know if you remember, but I wanted to connect that village all the way to my home, which you can see in the distance over here. I really want this world to feel connected, and I want to have a reason to travel around. And for me, building this path that gives me a bit of purpose and also a bit of direction is really great. Because not only does it give me somewhere to travel with my horse, but it gives me a bit of a starter guide so that I know exactly where I'm going to build. I want all of my builds and everything we do in this world to branch off this one big world path. So even though we're going to make quite a small path today, it is going to grow grand. So the very first thing I did was start clearing out the space. And this is when I start to get really quite excited. And I know, I sound a bit crazy getting so excited over a path, but it really does excite me. This feels like we're really getting started, and I'm really starting to picture all the builds we're going to have in this world soon. And so I got clearing, and there was quite a lot of clearing to do. There was a lot of leaf litter in my way, and also a lot of trees in my way. There were a few times where the landscape really wasn't the best for a path, so I had to do some digging, add some placing. I think that's part of the magic of Minecraft. I love that even though this seed is so beautiful and the landscape around us is amazing, there's always room to improve, and there's always room to express your creativity and really turn the world into something that you really want it to be. So while I was doing this, I started to think about some of the recent Minecraft updates. I think this was inspired by all the leaf litter that was absolutely everywhere, because I'm still not used to it and it still feels very new to me. But one of the things I was thinking about were the new baby Minecraft mobs, and I don't know if you've seen them, but they are just the cutest. I'll put an example on the screen right now, because oh my goodness, they're so sweet. And I actually really like this idea of revisiting some of the older updates and giving a bit more flair to them. I think there's quite a few features that have been around for quite some time in Minecraft, and some of them I'm thinking of right now are the mine shafts. I'm thinking the stronghold. Well, of course that has a function, but there's not much else to do there, and it's not really been updated in a while. I think definitely the jungle temple, and also I'm just gonna say this: the end as an entire dimension, I think is in severe need of an update. I'm an explorer at heart, and I would love to explore a fuller end. But that is besides the point, although there's been some very cute updates recently, including the Happy Guest, which I am a big fan of, even though I don't use it very much. The reason I was really thinking about updates is because I would love to see a transportation update in Minecraft. I almost feel like they're readying us up for it a little bit. You know, the Happy Guest is technically a mode of transport, as is the brand new Nautilus. And also there was those recent tweaks to minecarts, I don't know how long ago that was, maybe a year, where they were going super fast. And I would love to see that in the game. I'd love to have more reasons to, build a railway, or build somewhere for a boat, or build like a horse track. Maybe another way to fly that isn't a Happy Ghast or an Elytra. Because I think as much as the Elytra is very useful, and I am a big fan because, it's so quick, and it allows you to see the game in different ways, I don't really like how it takes away from Minecraft to a degree. Once you have that Elytra, you sort of stop walking, and you never really see your builds by foot anymore, and you don't build things like paths, which is what we're doing here. You don't take the time to sort of walk around your world and really appreciate what you're looking at, and that's why something like a bird perhaps, would be a great update, I reckon. Or even just birds in general. If you can't fly with them, I'd still like birds. Imagine tiny little birds flying around the world. Because as it stands, other than the Phantom, we don't really have any flying mobs, which is quite a shame, I think. Okay, and now you have successfully listened to me ramble on about what I think about Minecraft updates for 5 minutes. Let's have a little look at the path so far. As you can see, it is really coming on, and I severely, I think, underestimated how long this path would be. I kind of thought the village was just sort of, over the hill from our house, but it's a good few hundred blocks away, including through this big sort of snow canyon, which I had to dig out, and we're definitely going to have to come back to later to make it look a little bit prettier. But for now, this will do. It does the trick. This can fit a horse through it, and that's all we need for the time being. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to build a path all the way to this village is because I love to redecorate a village. That's another one of my favorite things to do in Minecraft. I like that there's sort of a goal in there straight away. Just, you know, a village is a blueprint. It's a starter point to start building. And if you do one, and I find it quite easy to do, and I would definitely like to do that with this village. I think it would be so cool to tear down some of these houses and also some of this terrain and start building it back up from the ground. There's a lot of improvement to be done because it is not in the best state, and maybe we can build a little bit of a villager army as well. There is also this really big basin in the village that I think would be really fun to fill with water and make a big lake. I told you I have big plans for this, and can I also just say while we're on it, this took up, I think we used about 10 shovels. I might need to back check that. We went through an awful lot of shovels building this path. So the only thing to do now is to give you some cinematics of the path, so do enjoy. Alright, so we are here back in game. I am so sorry for the weird audio through this one. I really pushed myself out of my comfort zone to do that voiceover. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on the Minecraft updates. Let me know which ones are your favourites, because we will definitely be doing a Louis ranks on the Minecraft updates at some point. But I thought we should jump back into the game to ride our horse and take a little look at this path. We've not seen it in person yet, and I have not ridden on this, so this is my first time too, but let's go all the way from home to the village. I tried to keep it nice and wide, and I think I've done a pretty good job of that. You didn't really catch in the video because I lost all the audio, but I would love to do some decorations in here. I think spots like this look like the perfect place for a little lake or a pond. We could maybe have some waterfalls, some little rocks, and I can imagine the water flowing from here all the way down this hill. Maybe another little lake in here. We could maybe fill this cave. That is why I left this here at this waterfall, in hopes of building a little bridge on the path. So it continues all the way through this plains. And I remember last episode actually, someone mentioned that over here at this villager tower there are some allays. And I am gonna go check if that is true, because I did not see them somehow. Oh, there's also lots of bad guys. Uh-oh. Oh, there are. Hey guys! You know, oh my goodness. Okay, I need to leave. I have never played with delays before, but maybe this is the time to give it a go. This is why we should not tread away from the path. But it continues up and through here, and there's this nice little bit of land up here that perfectly holds each side of this path. Continuing on, I had to do some terrain work over here because it wasn't quite thick enough for the path. We are almost here already, which means this was definitely the right horse for us. And then through this, which is just about thick enough for our horse. And here we are at the village. Of course, there is some work required here. I don't really know where the path is going to go. There's not a terribly good spot. I did mention that I'd quite like to fill this up. I don't know about you, but I think that would look really cool if we did something like that. I'm not sure how far up we'd bring it, but look how pretty this spot is. And that's it, that is the path so far. There is lots of work to be done. There's lots of decorating to do. And I was actually thinking about doing some of the decorating on stream. I thought that could be a really fun way to get to know each other and also to show off this world a bit more. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. As it stands, this path is only path blocks, but I'd definitely like to come through at some point and maybe cobble it. We could do bricks or mud. Because like I said, I want this to be the sort of main road through the world that everything else branches off. But I do feel like this is really coming together and it fits perfectly. We are definitely in need of some decorating in here. And also I think it's about time that we started thinking about going to the Nether and upgrading our tools. Because at the end of the day, we are going to want to go to the end at some point. And as it stands, I am not in a good place to do that. But for now, I am going to make the most of my path. So, I'm off. I hope to catch you next time. Bye bye. See ya.